had a hangover. My head was about to explode.
Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here, and welcome to the last part of my Alan Wake Nightmare difficulty walkthrough. This is episode 6. Now, this is a shorter episode, and even though in total time it's still about the average length of a regular episode, a lot of it is going to be cutscene. You know, since this is the last one, the level itself is going to end with about a 5-minute cutscene or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the same amount of gameplay as every other level, but for some reason it feels shorter. And maybe it feels shorter because it's not very hard. It's not a very hard episode. It seems like it would be very hard. In fact, the first time I played through it on normal difficulty, I had a really tough time. I died quite often. But then once I kind of learned the level, I was able to get through Nightmare pretty easily. I think there was only one area where I had some trouble, but then again, once I figured out the trick, I was fine. And so, you know, that's what I'm here for, to hopefully help you with, is so that you don't have to go through the annoyances that I did. Now you're going to interact with the TV and you'll see this cool little, I don't know what I'd call it, but they kind of like blended, they've done this numerous times in the game, but they've blended live action with video games. And so there's like this late night talk show, and that guy on the left, that's actually Alan Wake, the real life actor that played him in the live action parts. I'm going to go ahead and just turn it off, go into the kitchen and talk to Alice. That will trigger the opening cutscene of the level, and then we'll get into the bulk of the gameplay. So yeah, go ahead and enjoy that, and I'll see you in a little bit.
Go back to sleep, Alan.
What? Now you can't even talk to me?
Well, this morning I was angry because you said you'd be home at midnight and you showed up at 7 a.m. and passed out in mid-sentence. Now I'm over it. Are you angry?
This goddamn tour. It's gotten out of hand.
Oh, honey. It's almost over, right? We can get back to normal. Then you can start writing again.
I'm sorry, honey.
Alan, you're not thinking straight. Just take a shower and go back to bed, huh?
Yeah, you're right, honey. I'm sorry. Once this is over, let's go away together. A vacation. Just you and me. Some peace and quiet. Somehow, the clicker was the key to the cabin. I had to return to Cauldron Lake to save Alice. I'm going back to the lake to finish this. I'm going to write an ending to the story in the manuscript on my own terms, to make it all right.
Why can't you just write it here?
The last page is still in the typewriter. I need to read it first. Everything needs to be just right. Zane tried to cut some corners, and it didn't end well.
Okay, ready when you are.
I'm sorry, Sarah, but I need to do this alone. Barry, take her gun. Miss Weaver, close the door when I leave.
Good luck, Al.
See you later. When I got out, it was warm and sunny. I'd flicked the switch of the clicker. Had it done this? I didn't stop to question it. I had to take advantage of the sunlight to get to the lake. On Zane's page, I'd stood on the rim of Cauldron Lake, about to use the clicker. That's where I was headed.
Alright, so once you gain control of Alan, it will actually be daytime, and so you can at least take a brief sigh of relief, because there's going to be nothing to worry about, except that obvious product placement for Verizon. That happens quite often, actually. In the DLC, I actually just played the first DLC, and at the very beginning, it starts with this open, like, just shout out to Verizon. They even threw a little Verizon Easter egg in there where Alan's on the phone, and he's talking to someone, and the someone is like, "Can you hear me now?" Which is Verizon's old marketing slogan. But anyway, enough about that. You'll get in the vehicle, and you'll just continue driving. Whenever I have to drive in video games, I always like to try to drive properly, like stay in my lane, drive at a reasonable speed, everything like that. The driving mechanics in this game are not very good, however. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to steer. But anyway, once you come to this tunnel, you'll be blocked by a tow truck and some other vehicles, so you're going to have to get out. And as always, whenever you have to get out of the vehicle, that's usually a bad thing. You see, you're going to make your way towards the end of the tunnel. And right before you get into the light, here comes the dark bitch. And you'll be attacked by 3 Taken. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to stun them. I'm going to run right past them, do a nice little slow-mo move. And now we're going to go back to the old good strategy of walking backwards. And every time an enemy starts running at you, just very quickly stun them with the flashlight. And that's all you need to do. Just walk backwards, stay on the road, and eventually on your left you'll come across another vehicle, and you're just going to hop inside. Now, you might be saying, Nick, there's only 3 guys. Why aren't you just killing them? And that's a good question. But ammo conservation, I found, is very crucial in this level. Everything. Ammos, flares, flare gun. It really helps if you save it all for the last part of the level, because then it will make your life so much easier, I promise you. So the more flares you can save, the more ammo you can save, it will make your life easier. So that's why for the first half of this episode, I'm actually going to be running away from a lot of the enemies. Now, what I'm going to do is, this is completely optional. You don't have to do this. You could just keep driving if you want to. But I'm actually going to take a left right here. I'm going to pull my car right up to this motel, as close to the door as I can get, just to eliminate any risk of getting attacked by Taken. And I'm going to pop my head inside here to get one of the last 4, I think it's 4, Nightmare manuscripts. If I remember correctly, there are 4 in this level, and that's the first one in the motel here. And there's also a shotgun and some shotgun ammo. Now, again, you don't have to come in here by any means, but I needed to do it for the achievement, so that's why I took the time to do it. And you can see there's actually no Taken in the area. You don't have to worry about getting attacked. Then you can just jump that ramp, and that will lead you right back to the main road. Now, when that happens, I believe you're going to have to dodge a couple poltergeist objects. So you can see how I just kind of swerved to the left right there. Dodged them. Get yourself to the bridge. Just go ahead and pull your car right under the light, and that will give you a checkpoint. And this is the annoying part that I was talking about. So real quick, I'm going to make sure I get that checkpoint. You'll see a cut in the video. And here we go. Now, this is actually, in my opinion, for me, it was the hardest part of episode 6. And it's not even that hard once you learn kind of how to do it. So for the first part, you're going to have to navigate your way across the bridge, and every once in a while you're going to get attacked by a couple poltergeist objects. They'll typically be the same things, barrels and tires. Those are what you got to look out for. Now, my first instinct was to just run past all of this, but I promise you it is much easier if you just stand your ground and kill everything. It takes longer. It takes about 2 minutes to get across the bridge, but you'll have a much easier time, I promise you that, because one thing that makes this particularly hard is the floor of the bridge will sometimes give way, like pieces of the floor, and you could be trying to run from poltergeist objects, and you'll be focusing on the objects, and you'll fall right through the floor to your death, and that will, cause you to redo everything. And unfortunately, you will not get another checkpoint until you get all the way across the bridge. So if you die, you have to do this whole entire sequence over again. And that's really what gave me the most trouble, was I kept dying at the very end of the bridge, and then I would just lose patience because I had to keep doing this section over and over again. But anyway, most of my walkthrough I've been a fan of the, just run for it, kind of quick and aggressive approach. But this is an area where I kind of just had to say, no, I'm going to go with the slow and steady approach. And it definitely, in my opinion, is the best way to get across this bridge. And sometimes, like right there, that tire actually killed itself because the floor goes away. If an object happens to fall through a hole in the floor, that's an automatic death for the object and saves you a little bit of time, which is always nice. Now again, notice the main trick against poltergeist objects is to always try to stand behind an obstacle. So boxes, cars, anything that can put a shield in front of you to block the poltergeist object from hitting you, that's going to be what you're going to want to look for. So right here you see I'm going to creep up. This tire's going to come to life, so I'm just going to kind of back up behind this van, and then I'm just going to hide behind the van. The objects will fly past me, and then I'll continue with the flashlight. Very simple. I think actually I haven't taken any damage yet, which is nice. And I haven't wasted a battery, so notice how I'm not actually focusing my flashlight very often. I'm kind of just holding the flashlight beam on the object to slowly whittle down that darkness, and then at the last second maybe I'll give it a flash to really boost that power. Now, here are the last set of objects. There's going to be a barrel. I think there's 2 barrels. For some reason, one of them didn't come to life yet. But anyway, at the end of this bridge, you can kind of see it. Off in the distance, but there's going to be another construction vehicle waiting for us, and this is the hard part. So as always, the big machines are what always give me the most trouble. But once you learn how it attacks, it's actually pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and first equip my flashbangs. And here we see, so here's the large piece of machinery. You can see it's got the claw on the end of it. And the claw is basically going to go up and down, and it's going to sweep from left to right. So you'll see here, now it's going to the left. Now it's going up, and it's going to come back to the right. So notice how I'm just running from left to right to dodge that thing. I threw 2 flashbangs, and now I'm going to finish the job off with my flashlight. And that's it. So it looks really easy. But that part it can be harder than you think, and it was for me. But once you learn that claw just goes up, down, and from left, right, once you learn that pattern, you can easily dodge it. The thing that gave me the most difficulty when I first started was that I didn't know how it attacked, so I thought I could just stand in one spot and, use some flares to weaken the darkness, but that wasn't the case. Now right here, you're going to have to dodge a monster truck. Or try to dodge, I should say. And again, this is completely optional, although I actually do recommend doing this. I think it makes life a little easier. I'm going to get out right here and run inside of this barn. Now, the monster truck's going to attack my car, but because I parked my car in front of the doorway, it kind of serves as a shield, so the monster truck can't get in here. Plus, there's light in here, so I don't know if it could come in here anyway. But the reason I'm doing this is because this is where the second Nightmare manuscript is. And as you can see, there's a brand new truck waiting for us. So my car took a bit of damage, so it's also helpful to just pick up that new vehicle, just in case. All right. So anyway, I got a checkpoint when I got in here, so you're gonna see another brief cut in the video. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop inside of this truck. Now I'm going to back up, and I'm actually going to sneak out of this side entrance here. And our goal is to get back to the main road. It can be kind of hard to see. I freaking ran into a tractor that wasn't even moving. But anyway, go towards the water tower here, and then right here there's a gap in the fence that you can get back to the main road. The monster truck shouldn't be chasing you anymore, but just in case, just go ahead and drive as fast as you can. There'll be a couple enemies here and there, that's okay, nothing to worry about. Now you can see the darkness is trying to destroy the bridge, but do not let that deter you, just keep on driving. Dodge the school bus here in a cool little sequence. A couple items will fly at you, just dodge them. And then pull your truck under this streetlight. If you can. You might have to... You see, I parked too close to that thing, so Alan had to sneak out of the passenger door, and then I had to sneak around all this crap. But anyway, You'll get a checkpoint once you hit the light, and make sure you grab these supplies. I would argue that flares are your best friend in this level. Saving ammo is nice, flare guns are nice, but flares are going to be your most valuable resource by far. So make sure you hold on to those as much as you can. You're really going to want to minimize the use. Now I got a checkpoint right there, so you'll see another cut in the video because this part can be a little tricky. We're going to have to make a pretty big run for it, and I think I'm going to use 2 flares in the process, which again is not the end of the world, but you definitely want to minimize their use. Alright, so now we're going to get chased. You'll see this enemy pop in front of you. Go ahead and stun him. Keep running. Now, once you get to this location, pop your first flare. You'll see I stopped to pick up that flare in the road. I'm going to stun that guy. And now, once I get to this truck, I'm going to use my second flare. And that should get me to the light. So, there we go. Now I'm to the light. Problem solved. I think there's actually another flare in this box here. No, there is not. So I used a total of 2 flares, but I did pick up 1 on the road. So really I only used 1, essentially. And so there you go. That's a really tough part actually that you can run past very easily. Alright, so now we are back in the vehicle. And we're going to approach kind of another tricky section. There's going to be another nightmare manuscript here, and I'm actually going to go get that first. So you'll see these yellow arrows indicating that there's a supply chest nearby, but I'm actually going to ignore those for now, and you'll see why in a couple seconds. It'll make your life a little easier. So first things first, I'm going to come inside of the warehouse here. I think there's going to be 2 enemies that attack me. And you are in kind of close quarters, so this fight can be a little tricky. So here comes the first guy. I think he hit me. No, never mind. I dodged it. I thought someone hit me. Oh, yep. Okay, there he goes. Anyway, I'm going to just kind of backtrack outside. And now I can kill the 2 enemies rather easily. Let's see. I can't remember. These might be the first 2 enemies I actually killed this level. I think so. I think these are the first 2 I killed. That's kind of impressive. Or not impressive, but just kind of crazy to think about. That you can get through so much of this game without actually killing enemies. Anyway. So, there are some items in here you can pick up. Batteries and what have you. But our real goal, or my real goal, again, this is completely optional. I'm going to go upstairs and pick up another nightmare manuscript. Now you're also going to get attacked in this room here, but that won't happen until you flip that switch. So first, before I do that, I'm going to pick up a flare gun, the nightmare manuscript. I think I picked up some other stuff, some ammo. And now we're good. So now I'm going to flip this switch. That will trigger the gate to open. And we're also going to get attacked by an enemy in front of us and an enemy behind us. So I'm going to kill this guy first, as quickly as you can, because there is an enemy behind you. As you see right there, I wasn't quick enough. I'm going to stun him. In hindsight, you might want to just kill him, because I am going to end up killing him later, and it's probably easier if you just kill him before you come down here. But anyway, now that I have the nightmare manuscript, I'm going to go for that supply chest, and I'm actually going to use my truck to do it. So check this out. I'm going to come up to the supply chest. And when you do that, you'll get attacked by a couple enemies. And so now I'm just going to keep backing up, and I'm just going to keep ramming my car into this guy. It's not the prettiest way to kill an enemy, but it works. It does the job. And I figure, you know what? If I can use this truck... Now, the reason I'm doing this is, 1, because it saves ammo, but 2, there's another truck waiting for us, a brand new truck. If there was not a brand new truck waiting for me, I would not be doing this, because I would need to conserve all of my truck's strength. But because I, have that luxury, I feel fine doing it. You see here my truck ended up breaking down. Somehow Alan just teleported through the ceiling and I ended up on top of the truck. So I'll go ahead and finish off these 2 guys. Now, in all reality, you could have just killed all of those guys regularly without the truck, but I figured, why not? I'll try to save some ammo and kill him with a vehicle. But yeah, so that's a very important supply chest because it had flares and flare gun ammo in it. So that's one that I considered passing up just so that I wouldn't have to fight those enemies. But in the end, I just couldn't justify it. Those items are too valuable. Again, especially the flares. Alright, and so now we're coming to a section which I was dreading. I thought this would be a really hard part, and I ended up finding a pretty easy way to do it. It's actually going to be a similar strategy to what I did in, I think all the way back in episode 3 when I had to fight against the bulldozer in the parking lot. I think that was episode 3, but so check this out. Here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to park my vehicle right here to kind of create a little barrier. So notice where I'm parking this, right here. And you might be thinking, why are you doing that? You know, this seems like a pretty random location. You're going to have to walk to the objective. Why are you doing this? Trust me, there's a reason. I'm planning ahead. I'm anticipating an attack. That truck is going to end up serving as a shield for us against another piece of heavy machinery which comes to life. So everything has a reason that I'm doing it. Okay, so pick up these items, some pretty useful materials, and go ahead and flip the switch, or the generator, sorry. And that will get things going. That will get power running to this junkyard, and now our goal is to press that green switch. Once we press the green switch, we're going to have to wait for the crane to pick up the storage container, and then we can make our exit. Now right here I was trying to get a little creative, and I thought maybe I can hop down to my truck from here and make this even easier. I couldn't do it. I don't think Alan can make that jump. He can't jump through like there's an actual invisible barrier there that stops him from making that jump, so don't worry about it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way back to the truck, and you'll see that's when the machinery comes to life, and that is why I placed my truck here. So I'm going to flip the switch, and now I'm going to stand in this corner, and you can see that the machinery is trying to get to me, and it keeps ramming into this concrete slab. And then the truck is also here to kind of serve as a shield, but you can see that the machinery doesn't know what to do, because I'm standing here in this corner, and the machinery is like, wait, I can't get to him, what do I do? And it's a very, very easy way to get past that section. You get to the light here, and that's it. That's the whole part, and that is an area that I was really not looking forward to on this difficulty, and it ended up being pretty simple to get through with that little trick. Alright, so now we are back in a vehicle, back in the truck, and yeah, I don't think I pointed this out, but if you didn't notice, our primary goal here is to get back to Cauldron Lake. Alan now has the clicker, which is the little childhood device his mom used to give him to basically fend off his fear of the dark. So he has the clicker now, and he has to get back to Cauldron Lake to, you know, defeat the darkness and hopefully save Alice. So you'll get a checkpoint once you step into the light. There's a little shed over here with another storage container in it. Some flashbangs, flare gun ammo, what have you. You'll notice I have 14 flares. I'm in a very good spot. So I would say that for the next part, you want at least 8 flares. Now, if you don't have 8 flares, that's okay. You can still try this. I'm just going to say right now it might be a little harder to do this strategy, because this next part, there's a lot of enemies. And the game, once again, the game leads you to believe that you have to fight all of these enemies. But by using our brains, we can get through it without killing a single soul. And that is definitely the way to go. Saves ammo, saves stress, saves effort. I'm actually very proud of this strategy, which I'm about to show you. And again, remember, it basically relies on having a lot of flares. Now, you could also, I'd argue, get by with flashbangs if you need to, but flares are going to be the best resource here. So anyway, make your way into this open yard. You'll hear the woman talk, and she's going to trigger this giant tornado. So you can see off in the distance, there's going to be a big dark tornado that's going to move this bus for us. You're going to wait for the tornado to sweep to the left, and now you're going to make your run for it. Now you're going to see this searchlight off in the distance, and this is where the game leads you to believe that you need to use the searchlight to kill all of these enemies, but I say hogwash to that. Instead, just keep running. Just run right past it, run up to this little cart right here, pop a flare, and immediately start pushing the cart out of the way. You're going to need about 2 or 3 flares to do this. So you'll see the first flare ran out. I'll pop a second one, go right back to pushing. I'm not even going to look behind me. I'm not even going to see where the enemies are. I'm just going to flare, push, flare, push, flare, push. Again, you'll come to another cart. Go ahead and pop one more flare. Now, I think this one you can do in only 1 flare. You might need 2. But push that out of the way. Now just keep running. Get yourself to the light. And voila. I'm telling you guys, I'm very proud of that. There are a lot of enemies in that section. And again, the game tries to trick you. The game tries to, the game shows you that searchlight. And it makes you think, oh, I gotta hop on that searchlight and start killing enemies. No, you don't have to. It's beautiful. Just run past them. Use your flares. And your life will be better for it, I promise you that. Now, I said that you might want to have 8 flares. I changed that. I say 5. You might want to have at least 5 flares to get past that, because you could see I was able to get past it with 3. And now you're going to hop in this little mine cart. You're going to have to fend off some birds, I believe. There's going to be a couple bird swarms that attack you. So you'll see the first one is just coming at me head on. I'll let them get close, and then I'll go ahead and cause some damage. But yeah, guys, we're pretty much through the tough parts. The rest of the level is not very difficult. Really, it's not. So skip that ladder. You don't have to go up there. I'm guessing there's just a manuscript up there or something. Go ahead and step under the light here to trigger another checkpoint. Now you don't have to go down there either. I think there's also just a manuscript, so you don't have to get it. I'm going to climb up here, and the birds are going to start giving me trouble. Now you'll see there's another cart blocking our path, so instead of wasting flares before attempting to push that cart, I'm just going to kill a couple swarms of birds to kind of guarantee myself an easier time. So there we go, 1 swarm dead. Skies look clear for the moment. I mean, besides all those birds way up there, but that's just more of a scenery thing. Those birds won't actually attack you. And now it looks like I have the clear to push this cart out of the way. If you really want to, sure, you can pop another flare or 2 and do the exact same strategy that we did a couple seconds ago. But you don't have to. Definitely don't have to. Alright, so now some more birds are going to attack. I really dislike the birds as an enemy. I just don't think they're fun. They're not fun to kill. Yeah, I just don't like the birds. If I was Alfred Hitchcock, maybe I would appreciate it more, but I am not, thus I don't. You know, I did watch the movie Birds as a kid. My grandpa, once my grandpa found out that I liked horror movies, he told me that I had to watch Alfred Hitchcock films, and I think that's something a lot of old people will tell you. And I kind of disagree with most people. A lot of people say that his films hold up as, like, suspense films, like Psycho and Birds and whatnot. And I would have to disagree in this regard. I would say that his films... Oh, real quick, I should probably point out. I'm just going to use some flares to get to this doorway here. Now, keep in mind, the only reason I'm taking damage here is because I was talking to my friend while I was recording that section, and he distracted me. That part is really not actually that hard. You just have to use flares to get yourself to the doorway. So I may have made it look harder than it actually is. But anyway, movies like Psycho and Birds by Alfred Hitchcock, I would say that as horror films or as suspense films, they do not hold up. I can watch Psycho and just kind of laugh at it. I can watch Birds and definitely laugh at it. I think the reason they hold up, and I think the reason people love Alfred Hitchcock, or I know this is a reason, it's not that I think this, but I think they do stand up from a filmmaking perspective. You know, from the actual art of filmmaking, I would say that they stand the test of time because he was just, he was very innovative and kind of a genius in that regard. But if you're in the mood to get scared and you want to watch a horror film, I would not recommend watching Birds. You know, I would recommend watching The Conjuring or Insidious or something like that, I guess. But yeah, anyway, a couple enemies are going to ambush you. Go ahead and just make your way to this generator. Again, you might have to... I only had to use one flare there. You might want to use two. But go ahead and get that generator started. Get yourself a checkpoint and move on to the next part, because I think this is kind of a long stretch. There's going to be quite a few enemies in our way, but you'll notice I've done a pretty good job at, like I said, stockpiling flares, so that's going to make our lives a lot easier. Now some more things are going to be falling from the sky. Some more enemies are going to be ambushing you. So again, just keep dodging. Get to this train car here. I think I'm about to pop one flare. So yeah, these guys, the big guy's behind me now, so I'm gonna pop a flare. Run around this boat. You can see it's a pretty long path. That's why flares, I told you I wasn't lying. Flares are your best friend in this level. You gotta trust me at this point. Trust that I'm not lying to you. I have no reason to lie to you, put it that way. Alright, so now you're going to make your way up this hill, and you'll notice some stuff going on the left. Don't even pay attention to that. Just keep running. Get to this generator here. I'm going to pop another safety flare just in case, and I'm going to get this generator started. I can't believe I missed that one. But there we go. Lights on. Get yourself a checkpoint, and just keep moving on. And I think that was it in terms of running. I think that was the last little stretch where you had to run from the enemies. Alright, so this is a cool little dodge sequence. It goes kind of slow-mo. Make sure you just stick to the right side to dodge that thing. And then keep making your way up the hill. Now in this part, there's just going to be a lot of crap falling from the sky. You don't actually really have to worry about it hitting you. It's more of a cinematic thing. But, yeah, we're pretty much there, guys. We're almost done. There is one more enemy encounter area. But again, because we've been saving flares, because we've been saving flare guns, it turns out to be very simple. Very, very simple. So go ahead and get that checkpoint. Continue up along the path. You're going to come to this little house here. And I think we are going to go inside. Yes. So go ahead and go inside. There's a supply chest right here, so make sure you stop and pick up some goodies. Now we're going to head upstairs. And you're going to have to jump out of a doorway, but make sure you choose the right one. I almost jumped out of the wrong door here, so I ran over here. I would have died if I'd done that, I think. That's the wrong door. It's going to be this one right here. So as soon as you jump down, you don't have to worry about anything yet. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to the right. Well, first I'm going to get some supplies from this box, but there's a generator. And you have to turn on the generator to start this area. But before doing that, I'm going to go around back and pick up the fourth and final Nightmare manuscript. I'm going to go ahead and get myself an achievement, Collector's Edition. That is for getting all of the manuscripts, the regular ones and the Nightmare ones. So that feels good to get. I've had that waiting a long time. Alright, and so now I'm ready to go. I'm going to equip my flare gun. I'm going to turn on the generator. And now my goal is to get over there. So I'm going to turn around, and you're about to be ambushed by a bunch of guys. Big guys, little guys, everyone. So first things first, I'm going to shoot a flare at the big guy. Kill him. That guy just ran into the wire. And now I'm going to make my way to the green switch. I'm going to pop a flare. I'm going to turn on the button. And now all you have to do is wait for the elevator. And in that time, you can use your flashlight, you can use flares, you can use your flare gun. Just have fun with it at this point. This is the last enemy encounter of the game. So there's no reason to save your resources. Just go to town with this. I mean, I just used a flare gun on a little guy because why the hell not? Here comes the lift, hop inside, and that's it. Congratulations, guys. You're pretty much done with the game. You can see I still have plenty of resources to spare. So that's just me. That's just my play style. I always think it's better to have more items than you need than to have less items than you need. So that's just how I play. But anyway, yeah, like I said, we're pretty much done with regular enemy encounters here. There's going to be another poltergeist section right here, I believe. So, you know, you can use flares, flare gun, whatever you want, flashbangs. So you can see there are still some enemies chasing me, but I'm not even going to pay them any attention. I'm just going to run over here and start popping flares again, use my flare gun. Shouldn't be too difficult. Now keep in mind you are going to need a flare gun to kill the final boss, but you'll be given basically an infinite ammo supply, so there's nothing really to worry about. So there we go. All of the poltergeist objects are out of the way. It only took like 3 flares and a couple flare gun shots. So that's why I said don't even pay attention to the regular enemies. Just get the poltergeist objects out of the way. Now this barrier is going to block you. Go ahead and get that darkness out. And now, guys, this is the final boss. It's, I'll be honest, it's not a very fun final boss, but, you know, it is what it is. It's basically a giant tornado. We have to kill the giant tornado. Yeah, destroy the tornado. So, go ahead and drop down. You're going to need your flare gun for this, so dodge these items. There's going to be a couple things that come flying at you. Nothing too tough here. Plus, you're given a checkpoint at the start, so not much. You don't have to worry about anything if you die. Alright. So now I'm going to jump this gap. Make sure that no objects are coming, because they can knock you out of your path in midair and kill you. But go ahead and get down here and destroy this train car here. So it actually hit me, but that's okay. I'm just going to run past it. I'm going to jump this gap. I'm going to get... So here's the infinite flare ammo. Now I'm going to jump one more gap. You're going to want to wait for those objects to pass by. 2 more are going to follow. Now you can make the jump. And now, guys, all you got to do is just shoot that flare gun at the tornado as much as you can. It'll take about 3 or 4 hits, and that's it. That'll be the end of the game pretty much. So there we go. Here comes some birds. I'm going to pop a flare just to keep the birds away from me. So yeah, there goes the flare. That should keep the birds away. Now I'm just going to keep at it with the flare gun. Pop another flare. And here we go. That'll do it.
Shh, baby. You were having a bad dream. It was just another nightmare.
No,
Everything's fine. You're home.
it wasn't a dream.
Everything's fine.
Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on!
Shh, baby. The power's out.
Alright, guys, so we have 2 more things to do. Very, very simple things, but we have to do them nonetheless. will gain control back in Alan's apartment. So go ahead and go out to the living room. We were here earlier in the level, and you're going to want to go to the TV room. So go ahead and make your way into the living room. You'll see the word clicker shining right there. And you're going to have to use your flashlight on it to get the clicker. So go ahead and shine the light on it. It's kind of hard to get the right angle. But there we go. Now you can pick up the clicker. And that's all you need.
You must find your way to the cabin. It stands in your way. It won't let you pass. It has no heart. It's filled with darkness. You must fill its heart with light. Don't mind him. He's Mr. Your friends will meet him when you're gone. Use the clicker.
And now, everyone, this is the very last thing for us to do, and that will be the end of the game. Go ahead and you'll see a bunch of words here. You can just ignore most of them. So like barrel, phone, just ignore them. Just go straight to the path. There's no reason to linger here. So go ahead and burn the path. That'll unlock it. And yeah, just don't even bother with the other things. Just the path, the bridge, that's all you need. I want to thank you guys for watching this walkthrough. There was a lot more views on this thing than I was anticipating. That's really cool to see. A lot of people engaged in the comments, which was awesome. I'm really happy to finally get through this game. I've had it for so many years, and I just have never tried to beat it on Nightmare. So, yeah, what's going to happen is I'm about to finish the game. You'll see the ending cutscene, which is about 4 or 5 minutes long. Personally, I hate the ending. The last line I especially despise. But I'm curious to know what you guys think, and then I'll go ahead and join you at the very end in the credits when the achievements pop for my final sign-off. But anyway, that's it, guys. That is Alan Wake on Nightmare mode. Stay tuned for the very end of the video when I say bye once and for all. But yeah, go ahead and hop inside the cabin and trigger that last cutscene.
Now you will never get her back. I am much older than you. Older than your first work of art. I will find a new face to wear. Someone else to dream me free.
I could feel Alice's presence close by. I understood what I had to do now. I knew how to write the ending to Departure. There's light and there's darkness. Cause and effect. There's guilt and there's atonement. But the scales always need to balance. Everything has a price. That's where Zane had gone wrong. There's a long journey through the night back into the light.
Alice? Alice? Oh no!
there you have it, everyone. There is the achievement for beating the game on hard, and here is the achievement for beating the game on Nightmare. Alan, wake up. Super happy I finally got around to doing this. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I want to thank all of you guys. You know, that you guys were really supportive of this walkthrough. A lot of comments, a lot of views, a lot of thumbs up. Those are the types of things that really keep me determined to keep going. So thank you for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'd love to know what you guys think of the ending. When I first played the game, I did not like the ending, and I still do not like the ending. That last line, it's not a lake, it's an ocean, still pisses me off. I think it's one of the most pretentious lines in any video game I've ever played. I just do not care for it. Anyway, guys, here are the 2 DLCs. If you're interested in watching me play through those, leave a comment below and let me know. I might get to them right away. I might get to it later on. I'm not sure yet. But that option is out there if you're interested. Alright guys, thank you for watching. That does it for Alan Wake on Nightmare difficulty. Another walkthrough bites the dust, and I'll see you in the next one.